after the Haiti earthquake, where the United Nations lost almost 100 of its people, and yet you found the person, the husband of a person who was a deputy force commander, whose wife was trapped under the rubble, was working day and night in order to attending to his duties in the interests of the broader population, while he was under the daily tension, hourly, the minute by minute tension of what may have happened to his wife. That kind of idealism has been extremely touching to me. And I think my proudest moment was when I went to a small memorial service inside the United Nations among a very small group of people in the peacekeeping department. All that I could say was that I was proud to be a member of this United Nations when you see the kind of idealism that people live up to. And I think that if you can, some kind of exposure to what is happening in the field, particularly today, the UN, more than the headquarters or the conference rooms around the United Nations headquarters or in Geneva or in Vienna, it's the field operations of the United Nations that is most impressive. Whether it's in the UNDP, sort of the resident coordinator in particular capitals, or whether it's in peacekeeping operations, whether it's the humanitarian operations of the United Nations. It's one entire field where disaster relief, things like that, when the tsunami hit, there's so much that the UN does, which is, I think, in a sense, addresses the highest instincts of the human temperament. And I think that is something, if you can reflect on that and you can see what is happening around the world, young people as UN volunteers who are in fact spending so much of their time in pursuit of what is after all an abstract value. I think that value, the abstract value of multilateralism, of service to the people around the world in the name of the United Nations, I think is the biggest message which I can probably convey to you.
I leave it to you at Madison to close this session from your end.
We would like to particularly thank Ambassador Nambiar for taking time away from a very busy schedule to contribute to the enhancement of the education of our students. This has been very enlightening. It has been a dynamic discussion, and we have learned a lot. And I think also your emphasis on the importance of hope is an extremely important message to leave with our youth, because hope is critical for the survival of the human race. And when we look at the global picture, sometimes it is very bleak. But when we look even deeper into the accomplishments of the various agencies, programs, funds, projects of the United Nations throughout the world, we can understand why billions of people still consider the United Nations as their last bastion of hope. So we thank you very, very much. And thank you
very much. Thank you.
And on your behalf and mine, I'd also like to thank Ambassador
Thank you
for taking the trouble. Until we meet again, goodbye from the Ambassadors Club at the United Nations.